turtle, 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 honey, turtle, 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 turtle. I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Okay, I need you to not climb up. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Turtle wanted to give a PSA before I put him back, and he was getting a little too restless for me to hold him here to actually give you the PSA, but he's running on his wheel now, and he just wanted me to let you all know that his PSA for this week is stop lying. That's it. That was his advice for this week, and I think it's pretty sound advice. Something that my father used to say to my brother when he was yelling at him, because my brother used to lie a lot as a kid. Something that my father used to say to my brother is that you need to be smart in order to lie, and you are not smart. So stop lying, especially if you can't keep up with your lies. So this week, I don't really know what I wanted to do. I know that I want to continue reading Maverick, but I also wanted to mix it up a little bit and also think about what I wanted to talk about more of, because I'm moving away from my older content. And I've been playing a lot of Witcher 3. I only started playing it last week and I finished the story. The whole story is finished. I'm just doing a lot of side quests and contracts now. Like, I have a poster of The Witcher 3. Like, The Witcher as a book series, as a video game series, is something that I love. And I've thought about this a lot, that if I were able to get any job ever portrayed in media in the world, I would love to be like a paranormal or monster hunter kind of person, like a ghost hunter kind of person. My opinion of ghosts and the paranormal is very much up in the air. I don't know if it's real or not. I think that I've heard enough ghost stories to understand that it's a possibility that there are ghosts. I've become pretty attached to like myths and legends of all of these monsters that seem to corroborate across cultures. Like dragons, for example, kind of corroborate across cultures. You know, spirits, ghosts, every different culture has a different version of them. So I find it super, super interesting. And I wanted to tell you all a story about me staying in the most haunted hotel in the UK. Now, I didn't intend to initially. It was a very cheap hotel. It was a very, very cheap hotel. I was in Liverpool. I was staying with Saf, and I could not sleep in the same room as her because I'm a very annoying sleeper. I snore. I talk a lot in my sleep. Sometimes have full-length conversations in my sleep, and it was becoming very, very irritating for her. So I said that I would get a hotel because that didn't seem fair. As someone who wasn't working at the time, I believe it was some sort of school holiday at the time. So I wasn't working at the time, she was. So it wasn't fair for me to go there and disturb her sleep. I had gotten a hotel for the few days that I was staying with her, or staying in Liverpool, and I had booked a room in the Britannia Adelphi hotel in Liverpool. And the reason I had booked that hotel is because it was pretty cheap night by night. So, and it was like this cool gothic Edwardian style building, and that seemed pretty cool to me. I usually stay, if I am in a hotel, I usually stay in like a Travelodge or a Premier Inn, but there were none of them nearby, like these chain hotels. There were none of them near enough to the Liverpool city centre for me to want to stay in. And the Adelphi hotel, it was like a 3-star hotel or something, and I wanted to stay there. I had no idea it was haunted. I just wanted to stay there. So I book a room there, and the first feeling I got was like that feeling you get when you watch The Shining, or is it The Shining? Yeah, The Shining, where you have the kid like riding the tricycle down the hallway, and there's like that very old pattern carpet and the very Victorian era wallpaper. It had the haunted hotel vibe, definitely. So first of all, I want to talk about the experiences that I had in the hotel itself. I also want to read what I read after I left the hotel, because I had told Saf after the first night of staying at the hotel that this hotel is probably haunted, and she told me, which was very good advice, she told me don't look it up until you leave. So I didn't, and then afterwards I looked it up and I found some pretty cool, interesting articles around the Britannia Adelphi hotel. So when I stayed there, I was given a room. It had an ensuite, it had like a cupboard, it had like a very nice big dressing table with a massive mirror. There were mirrors everywhere in this room. There was mirrors covering the wardrobe. There was that large desk mirror. There was a mirror just before the door where you leave the room. Obviously the bathroom had a mirror. There were a lot of mirrors everywhere. The room also had 2 doors. It had an external door and an internal door for some reason, like 2 doors right next to each other. I don't know if it was like a fire safety thing, because sometimes like for example the house that I live in, this is not a door, this is a storage room, but the house that I live in, my room door is a very thick door, so if a fire breaks out here it can't escape very easily anyway, because it will take a long time for the fire to eat the wood. But in this hotel there was 2 very thick, heavy doors, one after another. So there was one that you opened to get into the room, and then one that you had to push open again to get in. It was weird. I think the hallmarks of like a haunted house is like the standard creaks and drips, which were happening. It's a very old building to look at. You can tell it's a really old building. So that didn't seem strange to me. But there was a lot of like distant whispering and stuff like that, and I study psychology, and parapsychology is just a part of psychology, so I've looked into it. It's very, very interesting, kind of dumb, but really, really interesting. The way that our brains are wired is that our brains for survival always err on the side of caution. So that's why fear is like one of the most lizard brain emotions that we have. It's one of the most innate emotions that most animals have, is fear, because if you don't err on the side of caution, it prevents you from taking a potential threat seriously. So I understand that. I already know that, and I've actually read studies on people who like stay in haunted houses and the things they experience. So initially I just thought it's all in my head. There's nothing going on in this hotel. But there was one time where I couldn't get to sleep, and because I was kind of scared, I was sleeping with like the bed lamp on. They had an overhead lamp on top of the bed, presumably so that if people wanted to read before they fell asleep or whatever, they could do that. But I kept it on while I was sleeping, and for most of the nights I was able to do that because I sleep with a light on anyway. Just because I have some PTSD around not necessarily sleeping in the dark. I sleep better in the dark, but I wanted to get used to being comfortable in light in my own space, because something that my father used to do is that he would wake us up really, really early in the morning by just switching on the light, and he would be yelling and screaming. It was a bad time. Anyways, I was sleeping with the lamp on because I was kind of scared. I didn't know what was going on. And I also want to say, like, the heat in the room was really good. The room was really, really warm. So warm to the point that I didn't realize that there was a window in the room that just refused to close. Like, absolutely refused to close. And I'm a pretty meaty girl. Like, I'm a pretty strong girl. But I really, really struggled to close this window. I could not get it closed. And like, I could see the hinges. I could see everything. But it just felt like... I just heard something. It didn't feel like the window was stuck. It felt like someone was holding it. Like someone was holding it open rather than me trying to, like, it was just caught on something, you know? And I'm just describing what I was feeling at the time. I'm very certain that some of this might be illogical, but I was trying to get it closed because it just seemed so weird to me that this window was just randomly open. Like, how the hell do you have a hotel room where the window is just open? Like, anybody can climb in here. It was so hard to get that closed, and I couldn't manage to get it closed. I had asked the people at the reception to try and get it closed, but it just never got done, and it was a really weird thing to me. There was also one night where there was a lot of like knocking, like like those sounds, these creaks and drips, and I just ordered, because I was buying this idea that there are ghosts here. I audibly said, "Can you just give me 5 minutes?" And I got pin drop silence, and it was absolutely fucking terrifying. It was like, what the fuck just happened? I got pin drop silence. All the creaks stopped, all the knocking stopped, all the whispering and the wailing and whatever the hell it was, it stopped. And I was terrified. And obviously every single day that I stayed the night, I used to meet up with Saf during her lunch break at work and also after work, and I would tell her what was going on in this hotel room. And she visited the hotel room one day and she was like,
"Yeah, this is a creepy hotel."
And she never came back. There was also this thing that the ghosts, if it was ghosts, the ghosts in this hotel didn't like me leaving the ensuite door open. That was something that I noticed, that there seemed to be more creaks and knocks and stuff like that if the ensuite door was open, which it was probably something to do with the pipes, and I could hear them while the door was open. But once I closed the door, it was like almost peaceful. Like there was no sounds, there was nothing. And the last and final thing that I want to describe before we look at some actual stories that people have said about this hotel is that I don't know at this point if I was just seeing things or if it actually happened. Like, I didn't know if I had bought into the story that this is a haunted hotel to the point where I was like attributing just random stuff to it, or if it was actually happening. I have this habit of like taking off my glasses, my phone, everything, and leaving it on the desk. Always. I very rarely throw it anywhere else because I'm very self-conscious about where I leave. Like, for example, if I leave my glasses on the floor somewhere, I'm never finding those glasses. And for someone as blind as me, like, I'm pretty much legally blind. For someone as blind as me, I'm debilitated for not having glasses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to leave them in a place where it's recurring. I'm never going to leave them in a place where I will forget where they are. So I had left either my phone or my glasses, and they all go in the same place. Like, when I get home, my phone goes in the same place as my glasses. Everything goes in the same place. I'm trying to really reiterate that. Everything goes in the same place. And I had left my phone on the desk, and I'm 100% sure that I had left my phone on the desk. And I'm 100% sure that I had left my glasses on the desk. Other stuff that I had was like my keys, stuff like that. It was all on the desk. Okay? On the dresser with a big mirror. That's where it was. I guarantee you. I go into the ensuite, I use the bathroom, I come out. All of it has moved to the bed. Listen. Listen. I don't know. I don't know if it's ghosts. I don't know. It was just a very creepy feeling. I really, really enjoyed it. I left the hotel a good review because I had a good time being haunted. And I don't know if I'm insane, you tell me, but it was like this feeling that I never had. Like, as a kid, I never really had paranormal experiences. My life was too scary as is for me to have paranormal experiences and be like bothered by it. So I never had paranormal experiences, and whenever I watch these horror movies and stuff, it fascinates me. Horror movies is like a genre that fascinates me because I never really get scared by them. I either get incredibly angry at them because the plot is awful, or I become very, very fascinated with the lore and the story that's within the movie. So I always wanted to feel that fear factor that people get in haunted houses, and I feel like I finally got it. But I did not know that the hotel was haunted. I was just guessing because it was like a really old-timey building, had all these aches and creaks and all that stuff, right? So after I left Liverpool on the train back to London, it was like a 5-hour train journey, so I definitely I had to, you know? So I looked this hotel up, and it is the most haunted hotel in the UK. It is the most haunted. It's been listed as the most haunted hotel, and we're going to look into some stories. I have a couple of friends at work who are like really, really into like true crime and like ghost stories and stuff like that, and I love that stuff. Love watching stuff like that because it really makes me think, and I like scaring myself. it was just such a bragging point to me, because I went to all of my friends and I told them this story, and they were like,
Oh my god, what? You're crazy. Like, why would you want to stay in a haunted hotel?
because I want to feel what other people feel in these places. Like, I just want to know. So I got bragging rights, like hella bragging rights. According to Visit Britain, which is like a tourist website for the British Isles, I guess, like people who are looking for places to go and see, this is where they would go. Like, it's a pretty official site. And this article, the heading is, "Are you brave enough to stay in Britain's most haunted hotel?" With its illustrious history, gruesome tales, and creepy old buildings, Britain could be the most haunted isle in the world. Wouldn't surprise me. If you're feeling brave, pack your bags and maybe your seance kit and spend spend a night in one of Britain's most haunted hotels. And then the subheading is "the most haunted hotel in Britain," and it's got a picture of the Adelphi hotel. If you're going to stay in a haunted hotel, you might as well stay at the Britannia Adelphi Hotel and Spa in Liverpool. The Liverpool Echo, which I'm guessing is a Liverpudlian newspaper of some description. Adelphi named as the most haunted hotel in the UK. A Liverpool hotel has been named as the most haunted in the UK by a paranormal expert. The Adelphi Hotel on Raleigh Street has been named most haunted in Britain by supernatural investigator and author Tom Slemen, who claims he has seen some of the hotel's supernatural guests himself. He said, "The Adelphi, in my humble opinion, is the most haunted hotel in the UK, and some incredibly strange incidents have gone on in both the present Adelphi and the one that stood there before it in Victorian times. I often gave talks in the hotel's Sefton suite and was unaware that this suite is an exact copy of the Titanic's first-class smoking lounge, built by the same craftsman hired by the White Star Line. During one talk, there was standing room only, and I and many other people saw 3 men standing at the far end of the room who were dressed as naval officers with white caps and dark jackets with all the braiding. The middle officer, who looked about 60, had a white beard and stood about 5 feet 7 or 8. And the trio were there one moment, then gone the next, and there were gasps of shock when the trinity of ghosts vanished." Tom added, "I was later told by a member of staff that the ghosts were those of Captain Edward Smith of the Titanic and 2 unidentified officers. The present Adelphi was built the year the Titanic went down, 1912, and subsequently attracted well-to-do passengers due to travel to America on cruise liners from Liverpool. The spokesperson for Britannia Hotels, who owns the Adelphi, has confirmed there have been reports of ghosts in the hotel by staff for a number of years. They said it wouldn't surprise me if it was all true. Over the years, a few members of staff have reported seeing a grey lady in a Victorian-style dress in the basement. We've also had reports of someone hanging out of a window in the Crosby room, and when everybody went to check it, the window was locked. I've not personally seen anything, but it is the oldest hotel in Liverpool, so I wouldn't be at all surprised. Other spooky sightings at the Adelphi, according to Tom Slemen. Raymond Brown, a 15-year-old page boy who died after becoming trapped in the baggage room lift of the Adelphi Hotel in August 1961. His ghost, resplendent in his cap and uniform, has even picked up the luggage of guests and carried it off to various rooms and corridors before vanishing. An unknown whistler in the lift of the hotel, who often breathes down the neck of guests and sometimes taps them on the shoulder. George, a man in a tuxedo with a toothbrush moustache, who calls to members of the public from a certain window on the Brownlow hillside of the hotel. He committed suicide at the Adelphi sometime in the 1930s. An unidentified female pickpocket ghost who has been seen rifling through guests' clothes and belongings in the early hours. She always disappears into thin air when she is challenged. And Tom Slemen has rated the Adelphi as the #1 haunted hotel in the UK. Let's see if we can find another source aside from Tom. So The Mirror, which is a tabloid in the UK, I just want to make that clear. They've reported that twin sister ghost hunters terrified by sounds at UK's most haunted hotel. Lindsay and Louise Scott, 21, were staying at the Adelphi Hotel in Liverpool when they saw a creepy handprint and heard uncanny noises in empty rooms. That's something that I can confirm. There are mirrors everywhere in the hotel. So even in the corridors, there are weird mirrors where you would think that there were doors. Didn't go near any of them, didn't touch them, didn't want to. And there are these like really creepy handprints. And I don't know if it's just a lack of care for the hotel or they're just like playing into this myth that it's haunted, but there are a lot of creepy shit around the hotel. Like there are a lot of mirrors with like no marks on them. Like the mirrors are incredibly clean as compared to the rest of the hotel, which is pretty dusty and old. Like the mirrors are so clean, and like Saf can vouch for this as well, that when we were going up to my room, a mirror is there where you would expect a door to be. So I don't know if that's like a portal for ghosts to enter and exit through, maybe, I don't know, but there are creepy handprints everywhere around that hotel. Some twin sisters were left petrified after they found creepy handprints while staying in a hotel previously deemed the UK's most haunted. Lindsay and Louise Scott, 21, were staying at the Adelphi Hotel in Liverpool when they heard eerie noises and saw a super creepy handprint. Like, you can tell this is a tabloid. They visited the hotel with their friends Rosie Foster, 23, and Phoebe, who asked to only be referred to by her first name, on July 8th this year. Okay, when was this posted? Okay, it was like around the time that I went, so it was posted on the 26th of September 2020. The sisters from Walton are urban explorers and ghost hunters who upload videos of their adventures to their YouTube channel. Dating back to 1914, Britannia's Adelphi Hotel has previously been deemed the UK's most haunted hotel, with guests claiming to have experienced paranormal occurrences during their visits. Someone needs an editor for this newspaper. The twins and their friends booked 3 rooms at the hotel with the aim of capturing any ghoulish activity on camera. In the video shared with the Echo, the girls can be seen taking in the hotel corridors as well as a dark and empty function room. Some of the clips show the girls asking any supernatural presences to make a loud noise before banging can be heard in the distance. The girls also point to handprints on a mirror in one of the corridors, with what looks like a dusty handprint smeared on the wall close to the ceiling in one of the bedrooms. Later in the video, the girls can be seen conducting a seance using an upturned wine glass and a candle lodged inside a teacup. The vlog-style video was shot not long after coronavirus restrictions were eased across the UK, and girls can be seen exploring the cavernous corridors of the hotel with few other guests around. Speaking to the Echo, the twins said, "It was about a week after lockdown. After the lockdown rules started to ease, it added to the extra scare, but we did take precautions. We've always been fascinated with the supernatural. The Adelphi was the first ghost hunting trip we got involved in. It was a bonus that the hotel was once named Britain's most haunted hotel, and it was actually on our doorstep. We've read stories so that did intensify the whole fear while we were there. It was just mad to read about it and be in that scenario. It was definitely scary. We thought, like, is this real? You will get a few skeptics, but for us it was petrifying." It's also listed on Britannia Hotel's own blog, like their own page, so maybe they are just leaning into the whole haunted myth. But I do want to say that these girls had read up on this hotel, whereas I had not read up on it, so the experiences that I had were not diluted by stories of the haunting of this hotel. It was after the first night that I thought maybe this hotel is like haunted because it's a really old building and there are a lot of weird noises, but honestly, who knows? I'm not saying that I believe in ghosts now, I'm just saying that it's weird. But Britannia Hotels on their own blog has listed the Adelphi Hotel as a haunted hotel. Our very own Adelphi Hotel is often referred to as the most haunted hotel in Liverpool. Like, maybe they are just playing into it. That's why they have 3 stars. On TripAdvisor, a lot of people have reviewed this hotel as scary, as haunted, as weird. It just is. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you have your own ghost stories to share. Leave it in the comments below, because I love me some ghost stories. If you've had paranormal experiences, please do leave a comment, because I love reading about that stuff. I do think that holding something like a seance or trying to connect with the ghosts is a bad idea. Even if you don't believe in them, like, why would you risk that? It's clearly not a good idea, regardless. How many horror movies do you have to watch before you get that through your thick skull? It definitely put a little bit of belief in me that maybe there are ghosts. It might be a stupid little thing that I have exclusively felt in my head, but clearly not, because other people have commented on this, and not just paranormal experts, but like actual people who stay at the hotel and review it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do remember to leave a like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. My birthday is coming up in... Is it next week? It is next week. It's next Saturday. So my birthday's coming up next Saturday, guys. I have some links in the description below if you would like to get me a present. My wish list is there. If you would like to support me in a more monetary way, I have a PayPal, I have a Patreon, and obviously you have there's no obligation to do any of that stuff, but if you would like to, please do feel free to. All of it is in the description below. All of my social media and everything that you would possibly need to know what you want to know about me is in the description below, and I will see you soon. Like I said in the last video, I do want to return to my old schedule, or my old lockdown schedule, where I was uploading a video every single day, and I do want to return to that. It's just been such an unmotivating time. I have an assignment to write, and I shamelessly asked for an extension, and I still have not started it. So anyways, I'll see you in the next video. I don't know when it's going to be. I think the best way or time to expect it is probably sometime next week, but I do want to start doing a lot more live streams, a lot more, videos in general, because it's something that I genuinely enjoy doing, and I want to get back into the feel of. So yeah, thank you guys, and goodbye.